Welcome. In today's presentation, we'll be looking at analyzing a simple structure using Prota structure. Your guide is Ezanya Osita Valentine. First thing we're going to do is to open our Prota structure software. Give it a time while the Prota structure loads up. Good. Now, once at the Prota structure splash screen, we are required to start a new project. That we will do by coming here and click New. The software will demand you giving it a project name or a project code. In this instance, we will call our project Residential. Once we put in our project name or code, we click OK. The next step is to adopt a code we are going to use for this analysis. In this instance, we are using the UK British 8110. Click BS 8110 and import into your project. Now the work environment comes up. Next step we're going to take is to insert our axis. You come here, click on axis, right click and choose orthogonal axis generator. Come to your workspace, click anywhere, then orthogonal axis generator comes up. The first thing we have here is grid insertion. This grid reference port or coordinates is where we clicked on our interface. You can see X and Y axis coordinates. The next one we have is direction 1 axis, labeled A, and direction 2 axis. Direction 1 axis is the axis on the Y direction, while direction 2 axis is the axis on the X direction. Now, let's look at our model structure we are going to use in excess of this in AutoCAD format. This is our direction 1 axis, while this is our direction X axis. We are now be expected to input these dimensions for us to generate our axis. In this case, we have 4,000 millimeters, 4,000 millimeters, and 4,000 millimeters. And in direction 2 or in X axis, we have 3,600 millimeters, 3,600 millimeters, 3,600 millimeters. Now, let's get back to our Prota structure. In the direction 1 axis, this axis spacing will put it manually by separating them with a comma. Here we'll go for 1,000, comma 4, 1, 2, 3, comma 4, 1, 2, 3. When we are done with that, we come to axis 2 in the X direction and do 3,600, comma 3,600. 3,600, comma 3,600. After that, we accept OK. As you can see, our axes have been generated. In this case, congratulations, you learned how to insert axes in your structure. Okay. Next thing we are going to do is to insert our columns. That we can do by coming to concrete members and selecting concrete columns. You can as well pick up concrete icon. Yeah, once you click on column, the dialog box appears. In this dialog box, first we have label. This is the label or the notation of the first column you are going to insert. The second is the length story. This length story tells you the floor in which we are inserting this column. In this case, story 1. Next, you will be required to enter the dimensions of your column. You can choose a circular column, rectangular column, or circular column. And also go to Section Manager to see the different options we can choose in this case. Section Manager loads up. Can choose any form, any shape of column you want to insert. Prota structure will give you the properties of the shape you have chosen. In this case, we are choosing rectangular or a square column. Let's click OK to go back. Here we are going to use 225 millimeters by 225 millimeter column. Here we enter 225. On B2 we still enter 225. Now we expect our column to be at the center of, at the intersection of the two axes. But if for any reason you needed it to shift a little bit, which means you're gonna come here and change your eccentricity. But in this case, we are choosing eccentricity of 0, inserting our column at the center of the axis. Now we place our columns. We can place it individually, or we can select, then the software will place it at the intersection of the grids. As we said, there are no one way of doing anything in Prota structure. When you are through, you come here and click close. As you can see, our columns have been inserted. This is column floor 1, C1, and the dimension is 225 by 225. All inserted perfectly well. The next thing we are going to do now is to insert our beams. You can as well go to concrete member and choose concrete beams, or you can come to this icon and select beam icon. In this case, the software asks us the depth of our beam and the breadth of our beam. In this case too, we are going to use 225 millimeter beam by 450mm deep beam. Once I have done that, it's now time for us to place our beam. That we do by clicking at the center of the column, drag and drop. You escape. You click again and click escape. Click and click escape. Click and click escape. Now we are done with the X direction. Let's go to our Y direction. We click and click escape. Click and click escape. Click and click escape. Click and click escape. Once you are done, we'll come here and click close. Congratulations, you've now learned how to insert beams in your project. Next thing we are going to take is to insert our slabs. We'll come here, choose our slab icon. Now we are going to choose our slab depth. Before then, we have level 1 as we've seen before, and the slab types. The slab type I will explain shortly. Now let's choose our slab height of 150 millimeters. Our concrete cover of 25 millimeters is ideal. Let's go to loads. Our self-weight have already been calculated as 3.6. On our dead load, we are permitted to enter a value. In this case, we are going to use 2.5. On the imposed load, click on this window, right click. The software gives you options. You choose options depending on the project you are working on. In this instance, I'm going to go with bedroom and dormitories. Once you have done, come here and start inserting your slabs. When you are through, come here and click close. Now our slabs have been inserted. Now the software gives us the liberty to set our slab types automatically. Come here and click on slab. Right click and choose set slab type automatically. Click OK. Our slabs have been set automatically. You can see slab 1, type 4, type 3, type 2. When done, click OK. Next thing we are going to do is to insert our stories. As we said earlier, we are working on a 3-story residential project. Come to story, click on story, right click and choose insert story. The software asks you for total number of stories. In this case, we insert 3. Accept, OK. Accept, yes. Now it has taken us to the 3rd story. In this instance, we go back to story 1. Next step we are going to do is to generate our stories. Still go back to story, right click and click generate story. In this generate story dialog box, you see source story and target story. In this case, story 1 is our source story, our target story becomes story 2. Click OK. Process completed. Next is story 3. Click OK. Our process is completed. Close. When you have done that, we can now view our model in 3 dimensions. Can still come to view, click on view, right click and choose 3D. We can now view our model nicely in 3D. We can rotate our model and see what we have done. We can as well go to window and tile our window so that we can see both the 3D and the plan at the same time. We can also interchange the 2 windows by clicking here, coming to window. So this is our plan, this is our 3D. Follow us in the next episode while we continue with this. Thank you for watching.